Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be taking a look at something really awesome. Epic Bait Molds was nice enough to send over a couple new molds for us to check out here on the channel, be able to share with you guys. Both swim bait molds. This is the bigger of the two. This is the 4.4 inch Shadderbait, and this is a really awesome swim bait. I've opened it up and looked at it, and we're going to do that here on the channel as well. We'll get a closer look at it here in just a second. But this is a 3-cavity, 4.4 inch, and they are calling it the Shadderbait. Super nice looking mold. As you can tell, it's pretty decent size for a 3-cavity. That kind of gives you an idea of how big the profiles of the baits are. Individual sprues at the top for laminates, as well as the back and belly engraving that you can expect on a laminatable mold from Epic Bait Mold. At the end of the week, you can expect some laminates, as well as you're going to get to see eyes on these baits or the baits in the video at the end of the week. I have eyes coming. They're supposed to be here tomorrow, but you just never know with how shipping is. But we're going to step outside the box a little bit. We are going to use mica powders. We are going to use a silver and a black pearl dry. So a light and a dark. Now, mica powders, we're going to add some flake and see what we can come up with. Kind of give us a little different variety of stuff that we do here on the channel. Let's get some closer looks at this over here, and let me introduce you to the 4.4 inch Epic Bait Molds Shadderbait. Let's get into some of the details on this mold. One of my favorite things about this mold is how long the runners are. Along with the other mold, they had a lot longer runners than a lot of molds that I see. And it is super nice because the plastic doesn't suck down in here quite as bad, and it doesn't want to cause a dent or a bubble in this area, which can happen if the runner is too short. Another thing you'll notice is the hook slots. This is the hook slot delete right here. If you want a hook slot in the bottom, you just flip it over and slot it in, and there is your hook slot in the bait. If you'll notice on this side, this is the top hook slot right here. They're screwed in. You could take these out, I suppose, but you would probably have some flashing and you'd have to trim. But if you really didn't want a hook slot on the top, I guess you could do that. There is a nice little structure here on the tail section, probably to catch some water. Just gives it a little bit of texture. Very nice. This tail flaps pretty good. I've shot this mold one time, and it was for chartreuse and to do some action footage, and it does swim pretty good. There will be action footage in this video as well. The eye section, 0.25 inch, so 6 millimeter ought to be pretty good right there if you're looking for some glue-on eyes, which hopefully we'll have in this video as well. So let's mix up some plastic and start shooting some awesome Shadderbaits. Okay, for this first color, we're going to be using this silver mica powder. You can get this stuff on Amazon in like variety packs is the way I bought it. It came with like 20 or so different colors in these little bags, and it's pretty cheap. I'm going to dump some of this in here. And depending on which color you got, a little bit can go a long ways, or it may take a lot to get there. It really just depends on the color, but it takes a minute to get this mixed in. It's going to want to clump up a little bit. You just have to take your knife and go around the edges. If you're not familiar with mica powder, if you're a bait maker, you're probably familiar with it. It's been around for a long time. This is by no means anything new. Get this mixed up the best I can here. It definitely likes to clump though, so you kind of have to watch it. This will be the lighter of the two colors, and I think it's going to look pretty good. Okay, so I'm going to lift you guys up just a little bit. Get up here where you can see, and that is the effect that mica powder has. Has that It almost like oil on the water. I don't know, that sheen or whatever you want to call it. That's what mica powder does. So now we're going to add some flake. I'm going to add some of this shiny. This is the Bait Plastics Small Silver 0.015. And I will not have a recipe for this color because I am just building this to something I think will look good. I don't ever plan on really making this again. It's just a color that I kind of wanted to replicate. I got some curly tails from Yum that came with an A-rig not super long ago. And this color I just made is like spot on to what they look like. I'm going to add some of this black. This is the same size, but it's black. And that's just going to help darken it and give it a little bit of contrast. For the other color, we're going to do that darker color. And we are going to do purple flake to make it match a black and purple jig. Because these are great jig trailers. Now, it looked really white, and as you can see, when I mixed that black in, it turned it more silver, and that's exactly what I wanted, and that's why I wanted to add the black to the mix. So there is that. I may add a tiny bit of larger black flake real quick, and then we'll shoot some baits. Okay, I added a little bit of that larger black flake, as you can see. Really nice color, not too shabby. Let's inject this in some baits now. I hope this looks as good as I think it will. This mold shoots incredibly well too. It feels like... I've never had a couple of molds that shoot probably as well as these do for swim baits. I feel like occasionally I'll have these just really... And it's not all the time. It's just like random small issues here and there like you would expect anything else. I've shot the other mold, the sleigh bait, a lot, and I have not had one problem that caused me to remelt, which is pretty unusual to be honest with you, because it's like anytime I'm making baits, I usually end up having like an air pocket somewhere, or and I'm not even vacuuming this plastic. This is just going in straight from the jug into the cup, microwave, back out. No vacuum, and I guess the venting on these is done so well that I don't have any problems, which is great because it saves me a lot of headache. It's really annoying when you go to make a batch of baits and you're like, okay, I have the exact amount in the mold for the order, and then it's like, okay, one's messed up and you have to reshoot the mold again. That is so annoying. It happens from time to time, especially if you don't have the best injector or whatever the case may be. But this mold seems to handle those issues extremely well. Okay, these are ready to demold. This is what I was talking about with those long runners. It sucks down in there, but it doesn't reach the bottom. At least it hasn't in any of these shots that I've done. I'm not saying it won't for you, but it's been good for me. Oh, those look good. They almost look like aluminum. Yeah, check that out. Those look pretty slick. Not too bad. And I was kind of worried with these molds, this one and the other one, that the hook slots would always be falling out. But really, they stay in pretty good. Because I can peel this one out here, and it doesn't move. Occasionally you'll pop one out here and there, but overall, they stay in there really well. Check that out. This is the hook slot at the top here. You can kind of see it right there. And then we use the delete so we don't have a hook slot in the bottom, which is fine because how I'm going to fish these, I'm not going to use them on a weighted beast hook or anything. Otherwise, it would probably be good to have that slot down there. But we'll pull these out. This mold shoots good just like the sleigh bait. So pretty flawless baits almost every time, it seems like. Definitely one of the better shooting molds I've had. Not too bad. I'm going to go ahead and make some more of those while I've got this plastic hot off camera. And then we'll do the other color, which is going to be the Black Pearl Dry. All right, let's build color number 2. And this is going to be the Black Pearl Dry. I don't remember if I've ever used this or not. I feel like I might have at one time or another. This or graphite, I can't remember. I really like graphite too. So let's just dump some of this in there. And then we'll see what happens. This is darker, so I'm not going to go quite as heavy right off the bat. like I did the silver. Kind of looking like a smoky color, that's just fine for what I'm wanting. The black flake will darken it up some, so we should probably need to keep that in mind. So I'm trying to make this pair with a black and purple jig. So this is what we're going to start with. This is the small purple from Bait Plastics, 0.015. And we're going to put some of this in here. We don't want a ton, but a little bit. That'll give us a little bit of texture there. That'd even darken it up some, I would say. And I think we're going to go straight for some bigger flake for black. And we're going to use some of this bigger black flake. This is 1/24 black flake here. Just an off-brand black flake. Don't want to go too crazy. This is just a 1 cup amount. And that should darken this up some. I want this to be pretty dark because it's looking kind of silvery. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a drop of black from Bait Plastics to this. And we'll just start with 1 drop. I want this to be pretty dark. I don't want it to be very silvery. Okay, we're going to add another drop because that didn't do as much as I wanted. Because even if it looks dark in the cup, it's going to look a little different in the baits, and I'm just kind of doing that to tell about how clear it is. Add 2 more drops of black, and I think we're going to call it there. That's going to give it a good dark tinge to it, and then I'll give you a better view here in just a second. I know the shadows make this kind of weird. Okay, here is a look at that color from the top down. And you can see it's a lot darker, kind of more of a gray charcoal-y color. And that's exactly what I wanted. A little bit of purple in there, some big black flake. I think it's going to look real nice. Let's see how some of this dark color looks in some baits now. This color looks really interesting in the cup. Kind of think it'd be a good worm color. I'm sitting here making custom colors that I didn't plan on using, and I like both of them. Usually how it works. Okay. Oh, I might not have had enough on that one. We'll have to see. Not sure I had enough. I think I caught some air when I was pulling up my plastic, but we'll at least give that a little bit of a look here in a minute and just see how that turned out. And we'll see if we like this color or not. Let's demold these things real quick. Gotta wear a glove now. The mold is getting pretty warm from all the shooting. Oh, feel the hook plates moving. There we go. Horrible, ugly demold. That is all right. Let's see if I can get these back in here halfway decent. I lost all the hook plates that time. That doesn't normally happen though. I was getting a little rough with it. There is the darker color. See if I can get it in a different light. It is more of a gray. Kind of like what you see there. Some purple hinge to it, just a little bit. And fix that tail. Not too shabby. Let's get these on a tray and take a look at them. Alright, you guys get a little bonus demold as well. Just because I like y'all, I'm going to let you in on this one too. I was just going to make this for the store because I had enough left over. But because I like you guys, I'll show it to you. Okay. This is, let me take my glove off, some motor oil. Nice little red-green color shift there. We'll throw these on the tray so you can check them out here in a minute. But pretty nice. That red comes through like crazy under that LED shop light. Here's a little look at these motor oil ones. Lots of light in here, so definitely giving off the red vibes that we like so much. And the red flake in there shows up pretty good. But that's just a little bonus demold for you guys. Not to take away from what we were doing. Here's what our actual baits look like here on the tray. There's the silver up there, and you can kind of see, find a way that looks good. There's some purple coming through. It's all about finding that right angle, it seems like. Yeah, kind of a light and dark, exactly what I wanted. I cannot wait to put some eyes on these. I think it's really going to bring them together. But yeah, there is two colors. Now I'm going to show you what I have planned for jigs. So to start with, we're going to do 3/8 ounce swim jig. And for the silver, we're going to use that. Check that out. That's going to be an excellent match to that silver. That's what I was trying to match there. And for some reason, I thought I had black and purple swim jigs. I do not. But what I do have is some green with that purple and black. So I think that is going to be a good match for that. So let's get a couple of these rigged up and check them out. There we go. Got a little something to hang it by. Not bad at all. That is the darker one. I'll hang this lighter one up here for you. It's actually going to hang a little better. Yeah. Check that out. Those look awesome. I got these all lined up here on the tray so we could have a little final look. Super awesome mold. It shot extremely well. Don't have any complaints about this mold or the other one, to be quite honest. And here is our swim jig setups. Looks like a little light versus dark standoff, but hey, I am digging it. Really nice setup here. Would absolutely recommend this mold. Now that we've got a final look at these, you can check out this action footage that I will throw in right now. Okay, let's try to get some action footage of this. I would like to have a little longer shank hooked, but this is just what I happen to bring, and it'll be fine for doing the action footage, but I don't think your hookup ratio would be super great. I'd like to be a little farther back. I mean, you would catch fish on that, but you'd probably miss some too, so ideally you'd want probably a little longer shank. All right, let's see what we can do here. Good kicking action. Seeing that. That heavy head's keeping the body down. In the front, which kind of makes it nose down, which I like. Pretty good action on that tail there. Let's go to 2x and see what that looks like. There we go. A little zoomed in action. Nice. Can definitely see that tail flapping around. Beautiful. Really good action on that thing. Here are the eyes on the Shadderbaits here. Went with more of a silver eye on the darker ones and more of a gold eye on the silver ones. They look pretty dang good, if I might say so myself. Here's a look at the motor oil ones with a little more of a red eye. All the eyes I got are pretty similar, but they look good on these. So again, I lost my audio on this fishing trip because of my camera, but this is some Shadderbait footage. There's just a couple clips here. I was using the Shadderbait on that 3/4 ounce swim bait head. It was an underspin head from Berkeley, but I cut the underspin off of it. Same school of fish that I was fishing in the sleigh bait video, if you've seen it or if it's out yet. But these fish were pretty cooperative. They really seemed to like the chartreuse, and with that bigger head I was able to get it down there a whole lot farther, and it was a lot easier to get to those fish, and I wasn't having to sit and wait for that thing to sink forever. But that's kind of what's going on here. Fishing this same school. It's a pretty big school. And then here's a fish here. This is probably the biggest fish I caught on the Shadderbait, I believe, and he's not huge. I just like to net when I'm using the swim bait because I have a lot of fish come off right at the boat. Here we go. Get a look at this fish. They were hitting it pretty hard. Can't complain about how well they were cooperating. Here we go. And you can see he choked that thing. good hookup in the top of the mouth there, and just kind of showing you what it looks like. He's a decent little fish, nothing too impressive, probably a couple pounds. And going on to this clip, this is a smaller fish, I do believe, if I remember right. And then you get to see something funny here in a minute. This fish scared the crap out of me. Yeah, this is the smaller fish here. And then this clip coming up is pretty funny. I reeled in really quick to take a pitch to the other side of the boat, and the fish eats it off the surface here in a second, and it was scared me half to death. I was not expecting it, because you can even see him hit it on the surface. It's pretty funny. But yeah, that's how I got that rigged up, just that 3/4 ounce head, using that hook slot in the top of that bait. And here we go, watch this. Here we go, reeling quick, and he eats it right on the surface. And I was looking the other direction. It scared the crap out of me. I wish I had the audio for that, because it's funny. And look at how this little fish T-boned that bait. I mean, he wanted it. That's crazy. But yeah, here's just a couple clips for you guys to see that the Shadderbait does indeed work. Wish I could have fished more, but this was a before work trip, and I didn't have very long. Hey guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. I'm going to shoot the same outro for both videos, because there's no use repeating the same information twice. On a side note, I am going to sell some of these baits at the launch of the molds. I even said in the recording of one of the videos that I was going to sell them in 6-packs, and I am. But I got to thinking, I am going to offer them in 3-pack sample packs just for the first week or two, because a lot of you guys are bait makers and you pick up a bag of baits before you buy a mold. So I want to give you at least a week or two to get a cheaper bag of baits. That way you're not having to pay for that full 6-pack just to see if you like it or not. And then if you do want to buy more than 1 pack, you're more than welcome to. But I don't want you to have to feel like, okay, I have to buy this big pack if I want to get hands-on with this before I spend the money to buy one of these molds. So for the first week or two, I'm going to offer them in 3-packs just for simplicity, and it's a little cheaper on you guys that way. Figured I would go ahead and mention that. It won't stay that way, only for a week or two, and then they will move on to being 6-packs. If you want to pick up either of these molds, I will leave at least a link in the description below to Epic Bait Molds. They will probably provide me with an exact product link that I will try to put down there if they give it to me. I'm sure they will. Don't think it'll be a problem. If not, I'll try to hunt it down on their website. That way you don't have to go hunt for this mold. You can just go click the link and find it. If you guys want to buy any baits from me, like the sample pack or any others, there will be a link in the description below to my store. All that money gets to go back into this. I'm dumping money in this left and right, and I'm trying to make it really nice. And it's such an honor, and I love getting to share stuff with you guys. Big thanks to Epic Bait Molds for partnering with us on this. It makes it a lot easier to be able to show you guys this awesome stuff. I wouldn't be able to do it without them, and it is absolutely a blessing to be able to share this stuff with you guys. I appreciate you watching. As always, like and subscribe if you want to stick around, check out new stuff as it comes out. But I will catch you guys in the next video.